hand. What's the heart?
It's an organ.
It's an organ. You're great. Good job. An organ. I thought an organ was something that you played and made music.
I think it's part of your brain that affects your actions and your emotions.
Okay, the part of the brain that affects actions and emotions, right? Your frontal part of your brain is your logic, right?
It's who you are.
Oh, who you are.
Mind, spirit, soul, body. It's who you are. It's not a part of your mind.
Okay, who you are. Yeah.
I think it's what you're passionate about, like your core beliefs.
What you're passionate about. Okay? Yes?
Science has learned that there's neurons like you had in the brain in your heart too.
Wow, so it may be connected. That's amazing. I mean, you stop and think about it, your heart. He says, because if Jesus is mentioning it, talking about it, it's probably fairly important. And he's saying, don't let that be troubling. Okay? And yeah, it's your emotions, it's what you think and what you feel, and really all of your decisions, most of your decisions, everyone's decision-making process is based upon their emotions, believe it or not. You can believe a certain thing, but how you feel about it is normally how you act. Okay? And that's so it was different than your heart and your mind. It was, when they referred to them as two different things. And so Jesus says, don't let your heart be troubled. Which means it can be, right?
You can have a heart attack with if your feelings are bad.
Okay, good. Yeah, your feelings and whatever else. Yesterday, my heart was troubled. It was really troubled at 12 o'clock when I received a call saying, hey, we double booked you guys and you can't have your service tomorrow. I was like, what? And I started getting all anxious. I'm like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I mean, this is only our second week of going full time. And it started build up, and I'm like, I wanted to get angry, and I wanted to be frustrated, and all these other things started building up. And I was like, hold on, maybe God's just trying to do something. I don't know. And so, I guess this verse came back and it's like, don't let your heart be troubled. There are so many things that trouble me in my life and have in my life. I'll say this again. I mean, when you can't pay bills, that's troubling. When your spouse isn't being the spouse that you want them to be, that's troubling. You're trying to find a house. You work with those people at work that make you angry, and you're just like, whatever. So many things can make your heart troubled. For the disciples at this point, they were like, we don't want you to leave. We don't want you to go away. And he's like, don't let your heart be troubled. And so if there's that one thing that I hope you can get out of this whole thing today is not letting your heart be troubled. And he goes on to say kind of like, I don't know, if we were to how men do it, they systematically deduct everything and spell it out. It's pretty simple there. He says, let not your heart be troubled. Believe in God. I'm going to stop back at that one. Believe also in me. Okay? If you believe in God, and it may not be the God of the Bible, but you believe that there is a God or there's a higher power or whatever else, if you believe in that and that you weren't just random species, but that intentionally here for a reason and a purpose, it starts to change everything about how I live my life and how life revolves and the cycles that it has. And that maybe the God who's in control of all those things also knows what he's doing with me. So he's like, if you believe in God, believe also in me. And we're not just talking about, again, and I just say this to remind you, we're not talking about, I believe in Jesus. I believe in God. But when I trust my spouse to him, and I trust my finances to him, and I trust that workmate to him, and my sickness to him, and whatever troubles that I'm going through, when I trust all those things to him, it becomes a little bit different to realize that those things are there just to strengthen our faith, to get us to think about it, to draw us closer to him. Makes sense? I don't know. Because, so, just what are you trusting yourself into? If you don't want to be troubled, think about what you're trusting that situation or that trouble to. You trying to take care of it yourself? You're like, I'm going to take care of this. I'm going to go after this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Blah, blah, blah. Like we often do. Or, don't worry. Be happy now. Ooh, right? You guys know the song? Don't worry. Be happy. I love that song. Don't worry, be happy now. It means, does he have our back or does he not? Is he with us or is he not? And if he is, wow, that's pretty amazing. I really stopped. And it's different than having believe here and believe here, trusting your heart. Because that's where we start figuring things out. It's right here with him. Alright? In my Father's house, verse 2, love it, love it. In my Father's house are many dwelling places. Alright? If it were not so, I would not have told you, for I go to prepare a place for you. So I just picture like, okay, the city's already up there. And there's all these places. And he's going, and I'm just stopping thinking about it. He decided to go and leave so that he could make the perfect place just for you. Now, inside of my place, there'll be Yankee things all over the room. Snicker bar tree. I could go through all these little lists of me's, little me stuff. I'm not sure that's biblical or anything. But I'm just stopping to think he's going to remodel a place just for you. It's yours. And that's what he went to do. It sort of helped me realize that life's not just about what I'm doing here, but where I'm going. Makes sense? It's the same story over and over again. But I quickly forget it. That he's gone to prepare a place for me. And that means every single person in here. No matter where you've been, what you've done, what you did this last week, how you screamed at your wife on your way to church because you wouldn't leave you alone. Whatever it might be. He's going to prepare a place for you specifically, remodeled just for you. Isn't that nice, Joyce? It's got your name on it. It's like, here's your little home. I mean, that's amazing if you stop and think about it. So they go to prepare a place for you. And next, and if I go prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you to myself, that where I am, there you may be also. Alright? I'll say, maybe try to put it plain and simple. One of the greatest things to combat troubles in your life and how you are handling them is to think about what he's doing and where you're going. Take the 30,000 foot picture and look at the big picture. And does the house mean all that much? Or does me being right just mean all that much right now? Or I'm sick right now, does it mean all that much? Because he says he's coming to receive us to himself. And there'll be no more sin or sickness, suffering, and all that good stuff. And we'll be with him forever. And we'll be with those we love forever. It's just perspective. And so, don't let your heart be troubled. How? Think about what he's doing and where you're going. Because this is just a short time. Here. Make sense? You guys all have that opportunity. Say it over and over again. It's a very simple message. But I find it much more of my experience to be troubled. And so I think he knew that, and that's why he said it. I'm going to pray. Dan's going to come up front. And we're going to sing. Father in heaven, that verse sometimes is much easier said than done. I know some of us have came here this morning full of joy and full of happiness. And some are on the opposite spectrum. Some are finding more peace, and we're all fit somewhere in the middle. When troubles come our way, I'd ask that you help us to remember what you said, to maybe spend some time the rest of this day picturing what you have in store for us, although we don't know. And forgive us the opportunity to just be here. as a family and as your children in Jesus' name. Amen.